Hi guys, welcome to my video. Today we're going to be looking at the Xbox Player Voice page. If you don't know what that is, it's a page that Microsoft Xbox has put out for people to leave suggestions, feedback, changes they want to see on Xbox. And this is something that they've done in the Xbox One era. In 2013 they've done the exact same thing, and this is actually how we got the Xbox backwards compatibility program, because people voted on it and Microsoft has delivered. So we're going to look at the top 5 suggestions and we'll leave our comments on it. Number 5 is the Xbox Game Pass Family Plan support. I support this completely. I don't really see any downside to it personally. It's not something that affects me directly, but I do know people with multiple Game Pass subscriptions in the same household and they costs add up fast. The main counter argument is that people would abuse it by selling spots on their family plan, similar to what already happens with game sharing, but honestly, I think Xbox could prevent most of that abuse if they really wanted to. Plus, unlike standard game sharing, those extra users would still be paid to count in some form, so I think it's a solid idea overall. Xbox already trialled this in a few countries already, and Jez Corden recently reported that EA, who are tied into long-term Game Pass agreements, were one of the reasons that it's got stopped. I don't necessarily agree with his comments about removing EA games from Game Pass, but I do understand the frustration that EA seems to have that much influence despite it not releasing not many worth games talking about lately. And at number 4 we've got separating DLC achievements from the main game. Again, I really don't see any negatives with this idea. Xbox fans have been asking for it since the Xbox 360 era. I'm honestly surprised that hasn't happened yet. I assume there's some sort of technical hurdle involved, especially for DLC that isn't a standalone content, but regardless, I think this would be a fantastic quality of life update, and that is something that Xbox should absolutely work on, because it is something the fans have been wanting for a long time. Number 3 is making online multiplayer free. This is another request that I agree completely with, and again, it's something Xbox fans have wanted for years. I've always stood by the opinion I had as a kid: you should never have to pay just to play online. Xbox absolutely normalised it in the Xbox 360 era, and while I do think Xbox Live offered a premium service that justified the subscription at the time, I still disagree with locking online multiplayer behind a paywall. I actually think this could happen with Project Helix, if it really is a hybrid PC console system, and with Game Pass being so dominant now, I doubt many people are subscribing purely for online access anymore anyway. We already know from the European Commission documents that Game Pass Ultimate makes up for 70 to 80% of subscribers, so at this point charging for online multiplayer probably just hurts the Xbox brand more than it helps financially. And at number 2 we've got restarting the backwards compatibility program. I agree with this one too. There's basically no downside to preserving older games and allowing players to carry their libraries forward into future generations. But that said, the original program reportedly stopped because they ran out of games that they were legally or technically able to bring over, whether due to licensing problems or publishers no longer existing. But I could definitely see Xbox reviving the program for a select number of titles, but I don't think we'll ever see a full-scale restart of the backwards compatibility program. And finally, number 1 is exclusives. Now this is obviously the controversial one. To be clear, Xbox putting games on PC is not the issue here. That's clearly the future and I don't think that's changing. What people mean when they talk about exclusives is how Xbox release games on PlayStation. Personally, I actually agree with the idea that games should be playable everywhere. In a perfect world, nobody would be locked to one platform, but at the same time, it's impossible to deny the damage this strategy has done to Xbox's reputation, brand identity and fan base. Especially when Sony largely isn't doing the same thing in reverse. Aside from MLB The Show, PlayStation still keeps most of its major titles away from Xbox, so the whole situation feels very one-sided. And because of that, I understand completely why Xbox fans want to hold on to exclusives. At the end of the day, Xbox needs a reason for people to actually buy the hardware. If Xbox continues fully down the path of putting all their games on PlayStation, then honestly, I think there's a real chance Project Helix ends up being the last traditional Xbox console before the brand shifts entirely into third-party publishing. And I'll go one step further, I think Xbox should cancel the PlayStation version of Forza Horizon 6. And that's the end of this video. If you liked it, give it a like, a subscribe and leave a comment. Thank you.